So I was looking in the, the IJN ship Bible that we normally look at for see if I could find any indication about whether the wide set binoculars on the superstructure are 25mm directors, because that's what they look like to me. Didn't find any info on that, but I did find her boiler rooms, and it looks like the setup they've got in the game here is totally wrong.
I went down a research rabbit hole yesterday. Remember I asked what colour paint the anti-fouling was on HMS, was it Aurora?
Yeah.
Like, I went through several things and just couldn't find it. Like, her shipbook isn't in the archive. So I couldn't just look it up. I got to the point where I was, like, looking at what supplies the place that it was refitted in 1945 had, and I thought, well, I'm just going to stop. This is too deep a research rabbit hole.
At least it was only one
It's
ship.
probably red, is the answer. Seeing as they sort of like had several suppliers for paint, and they slowly each switched to red over time, but like did it at different times, so it's not really
consistent.
Easy to see.
Hence the solution of just do one in red and do one in grey and let people pick which one they want.
Yeah, that's not good if you're painting a model, though, is it?
Well, I took it as you were getting someone who was doing a skin.
No, I'm talking paint model.
Right, in that case red is probably just a safer bet anyway, because unless you're like Italy, everybody painted their ship hulls red.
Destroy the target.
Oh, I see why you didn't understand my shilling for big model comments now.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Okay. Just randomly fucking threw some shells at that thing.
Attacking! Take him down!
Okay, I see. Oh, it's a Vondertan. Poor guy.
Oh, it's a stationary 1 to 10.
Yeah, I just find it funny how in like 3 patches we went from Vondertan is broke-ass OP to poor guy. Because it did used to be a bit silly.
Yeah. Wait, Matt, you've got your... Oh no, he's left, I think. He's got his scout plane off? Why?
Probably just in case there's somebody going around the back, it'll automatically shoot at the plane.
Yes.
Alternatively, spotting. You know, actually using the scout plane for what it's intended for.
Don't be silly. No one uses it for that.
I can see that you're pointing at something, but I can't see the thing you're pointing at.
He left the room.
Oh.
Or at least I think so. My
Yeah,
overlay's off as well.
He's not in the room anymore. Oh well.
Does he have a mic, or does he just like...
I have no idea. Haven't asked. Thanks.
What the hell did I hit? I think I hit just under his primary turret.
What did you hit? Yes. Anyway.
You said he didn't like the sap shells. You said he didn't like the sap shells on this thing.
No, my issue is that they don't seem to actually do much of anything to anything bigger than you, or at the same size as you, regardless of range, mind. So it's not like you're too far away or anything. The sap shells don't do anything point blank, and they don't seem to do anything far away, but against cruisers, they're typically just a one-shot kill.
You just gotta hit battleships on the decks, you take out all the barrels, and then laugh at them.
Ah, this is New Orleans. And a DD. Okay, I see what he's talking about now. These seem to be the actual players. If they're
Or go south, we'll get a good
crossfire.
side shots on them when we come around the side.
Oh, and now I'm humping him. That's not helpful. Slow down.
Our victory is near.
I actually feel like I'm gonna have to really be scared of planes. Like, gotta be scared of planes.
I mean, I'm scared of planes because this AA does nothing and it dies as soon as a Helena looks at you.
That's why I'm not the closest to you.
That's the reason I let our friendly neighborhood Scharnhorst go first.
Scharnhorst.
Well, the New Orleans...
Sits in a fjord and then gets murdered.
That was Turpid.
Did Scharnhorst do much fjord sitting?
I don't know. Was Scharnhorst the one that got killed by Duke of York, or was that Gneisenau? I think that was Scharnhorst.
Because when I went to the museum,
They mentioned
there's a
it.
big exhibit about Battle of Scharnhorst.
Yeah, okay, the Battle of the North Cape was Scharnhorst versus Dork. That was it.
Talk.
Yeah, Dork.
Was it named after a specific Duke of York?
Yes and no. Yes, because the class was originally going to be the King George... it was going to be... The battleship was going to be named after Edward the Eighth. And then, you know, he abdicated. And the standard at the time would be that George VI would have then named the ship after himself. But basically because he, you know, he liked his brother, because he was his brother.
Yes, he sidestepped it. Okay.
He sidestepped it and named it after his dad. And then they did a very politically correct, or a very political move. Or, I mean that in a sense of being polite legally. In that, after King George V, the next two battleships were were Prince of Wales and Duke of York, i.e. Edward and George. Well, Edward and Bertie. So Edward and George.
Yeah.
So yes, Prince of Wales and Duke of York are technically not named after anybody specific, but they are named after King Edward VIII and King George VI in practice.
I'm
Did that sort
sorry.
of spark a new naming thing? Because, like,
Yes.
is the current Prince of Wales isn't named after a specific Prince of Wales?
Well, no, it's not named after a specific Prince of Wales. It's named after the battleship. The same way that the Queen
Oh,
Elizabeth...
it's named after a ship. Okay.
Yeah, the current Prince of Wales is named after the previous Prince of Wales. The same way that the current Queen Elizabeth is technically named after the previous Queen Elizabeth.
Name things sensibly.
Well, yeah, we do name things sensibly. Capital ships get the important names. The Monarch naming thing goes back a while as well, because, you know, you had HMS Victoria, HMS Emperor of India, HMS King George V, HMS King George V. Iron Duke, after Wellington, Nelson and Rodney, admirals, and then also the last two members of the KGBs in the 30s were going to be called Beatty and Jellicoe.
Who was Admiral Rodney anyway?
Rodney? I think he was one of the ones that was in command of the Royal Navy during the American Revolution. He's certainly a more famous admiral than Anson or Howe. And then Hood, I don't recall precisely which Hood that Hood's named after, but suffice to say, there's so many Hoods that it would be...
It's not after the dynasty.
Yeah, it'd be remiss to not have a Hood just because of how many Hoods there have been to name a Hood after. So many.
An HMS Churchill.
Yes. The town class.
Like after... No, but after World War II.
I have no idea. Remember, there are multiple Churchills to name ships after as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, HMS Marlborough for one.
Yeah. The most famous Churchill in my eyes.
Yeah, the one who introduced the Royal Navy to proper logistics. Also, there's a spread of
The one who invented a specific type of cart.
right there.
Well, didn't invent it himself. Was that him? I think it was him. Ooh, torpedoes.
Yeah, Marlborough's logistics were very good. Also, the Battle of Blenheim, which is the reason why the Churchill's home of Blenheim Palace. Yeah.
Which war was that?
Austrian succession?
Yeah, it was one of those weird...
I think it's Austrian succession. It was either the Austrian succession or the Spanish succession, but I think the Spanish succession was Queen Anne?
Basically.
No.
Some goddamn...
it was a Habsburg. Yeah. It was a Habsburg dispute.
Top Joram. This cannot be allowed to stand.
Well, Kongou is very easy when you're just doing that. Well, there's an Atlanta that isn't shooting at us. Shall we,
Damn it, I missed.
Okay, we'll punish him anyway. Assuming that I get my lead right. Which I,
Yeah. It's because the lead marker lies to you, like under 5k, it's weird.
Oh no, I just...
Suddenly
I'm firing before it's calculated because I think I've gotten my eye in for Kongou guns. You know, having just played 35 matches of Hyuga to get Kongou, and now being on like a dozen matches of Kongou.
I've got a Fletcher. Or a cow.
Lamb to the slaughter.
God, did I... Oh, this is... This ship's faster than the Marlborough, which I've been playing a lot, so I keep under-leading. It's mathematically got the same thing that Opti does, where he binds his
I don't know,
key to
but
his,
he's very good at just informing us where we should be shooting.
It's bots, it doesn't really fucking matter.
True, but I just mean in the
Unless
sense
it's
of
like single cat maps, and then you basically have to sort the bots as quick as
it's
possible.
very observant, is what I'm saying. I think the term MLG Pro here would actually apply. Oh, I have a broken gun. Time to slap a gat. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh. Oh well.
Commencing attack!
Damn this bot bullshit.
I mean, it's been great for grinding.
Yeah, but I don't want to play against bots.
True. To be honest, it would probably make Invincible actually playable.
I haven't tried Invincible since the patch. Oh. That launched a spread of torps very badly. I think bots can do now.
Well, I mean, torps are just a gun.
Because they all seem to launch the stupidest spreads.
Yeah. Just dump them.
I wonder if it's just a bot spamming it, because there's no way that was going to hit the ship.
You know, the enemy didn't have a single battleship. This entire enemy team was based, other than Starship Trevor and JK, there's been like 5 players on this team who weren't bots. Damn it. Okay.
Are there any players left?
1. Somewhere. So, time to whittle the enemy targets down, I guess. We have 8 minutes left, and we're, out of things to shoot at. Oh, hello.
Oh, not out of things to shoot at. It's a Gorky. Wait, who responds to Gorky in the middle of 3 battleships?
Somebody without much sense, and I also just completely buggered up my lead on that.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to launch a ranging shot first.
The annoying thing is I waited to make sure he didn't have spawn protection on.
That's why I launch a ranging shot.
Well, I got an assist, so now I have 7 kills and 8 assists.
Funnily enough, I find ranging shots only really useful at close range. Because it, like,
because
the delay
the
is so
FPS
annoying.
sucks.
Yeah, so I just, like, launch it at sort of this 5-kilometer range, and it's like, oh, I've hit him midships. They're just, you know,
I think our bot Helenas are in range.
I can just see torpedoes streaking to each target.
Yeah, you see the stream of 40 mil from... Oh, it's a Portland that's just spraying tracer.
Mm-hmm.
Just to finish that. Oh, it sank as soon as my shells got to it before it hit. Okay, well, the one player that's left has contributed absolutely nothing to the match and died twice.
Hey, dying's a contribution, just not to his team.
True. See, I have to say, what Math is doing with Scharnhorst right now is what I want to do with Warspite against German destroyers.
Wait, has torpedoes?
No. But there was this bit in 1940 where basically the Germans invaded Norway, yeah, and they had like a whole squadron of of destroyers just holed up in a fjord, and Warspite just walked in and started bashing their knees in. And because Warspite has... Yeah, and because Warspite has plot armor. Managed to not get torpedoed. And took out half a dozen destroyers. Well, that was good. 18,000 research.